Hey guys, welcome back. How's it going? So today I'm going to be sharing 5 tips and tricks that I used when I first started to get into budgeting. So the first tip I have, and I'm sure you've heard it before, you can go ahead and roll your eyes, but it is a big one, is to write down your spending. Pen to paper, actually write it down. So I started doing this in categories. So every time I spent something on groceries, I would write it down, on my pets, on gas, those kind of things where we swipe our card or we pay for it online. I would keep track, and then at the end of the week I would add it all up and see where I was for each category, and this made me realize just how much I was spending on this stuff without even really realizing it. Because like I said, we would swipe, we would order something online, $5 here, $10 here, not realizing by the end of the week how much it really adds up. My second tip, and this is a big one as well, this really helped me see how much of my check was going to bills, is to write out all of your monthly bills, those ones that you absolutely have to pay: mortgage, rent, electric, cell phone bills, if you have credit cards that you're paying off, if you have childcare. Add them up for the month, divide by 4 to give you a total of how much of your check per week goes out to your bills. This really helped me see that this much of my check was going to bills, but then where the heck was the rest of my check going? Because I was looking at my bank account at the end of the week thinking I had a lot more money in there than what I actually had. So this was a really good, hard realization that a lot less of my check actually was going towards bills than I thought, and I had to find the rest of it and really learn how to budget that out. My third tip is probably something that you haven't heard of, and that's to drop the "I'm worth it" mentality. I know you, probably just like me, we work really hard for our money, so anytime we want something, whether it's a big or a little purchase, we usually talk ourselves into it because we say, well, I work really hard, I'm worth it, I deserve this. And you completely are, don't get me wrong. But is that short-term satisfaction for buying that, $20 item or $50, whatever it may be, is that satisfaction greater than sticking that money into a sinking funds or a saving account for a larger purchase down the road? So really, it's not about whether you're worth it or not, it's about where's that money going? Is this important to me, or is tucking it away, adding it up to this big expense a little bit more important to me? Now this fourth tip is something that I am still working on, and that is don't spend money that you don't have. And I don't mean by charging things. I mean when we know we have a little extra coming in on that check, or maybe you have a bonus coming, or maybe you have a side hustle that got you a little extra money, we tend to spend it before we actually have it. And I'm 100% guilty of this. I do it all the time. It's so terrible, but that extra money's coming in, you get excited, go, oh, I can spend it on this, or I can spend it on that, or I can buy this, which is perfectly okay. However, if you're like me, I'll buy this, that, and that, not realize that I spent that extra 3 times, and then I finally get the money and realize I overspent, I already spent it, it's gone. I really should have used it on a bill or a debt or something that I actually needed.
No, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Okay, so my 5th and final tip is to be really honest with yourself and hold yourself accountable for your spending. So I didn't realize how many times I was buying these little things, just how much those little always hear it, you know, the little things add up. But until I started tracking my spending, I didn't realize how much online shopping I was doing. I was buying something almost every day just for instant gratification, not really because it was a need. It's just something I wanted. So I was like, yeah, well, I'll just buy it, you know, click the button, it's done. So by holding myself accountable and being like, no, Jamie, you don't really need that. Worst case, if it's something you're like, yes, I really need it, wait 2 weeks. If you still want it at the end of those 2 weeks, it gives you some time to budget for it. But if it's still really a want, then go ahead and get it. But a lot of the time it's just we see that we want it, we see that we want it. It's the way our world works. But by holding myself accountable and being like, no, Jamie, you don't need that. That money needs to go somewhere else. Being really honest with myself about my spending, that helped me a ton. And of course, none of this is meant to shame anyone or to discourage anyone. These are all things that I have either learned and gone through or things I'm still going through, but they're definitely tips and tricks that help me realize where my money was going, because we never want to look at our bank account at the end of the week and be like, I thought I had $200 and there's only 20. Like, where the heck did it all go? So whether you're just getting into your budgeting journey, whether you're starting to cash stuff, whether you're digital budgeting, whatever the case may be, I really hope these tips and tricks help you out. If you have any more that really works great for you, please leave them below in the comments so we can share them with our community. As always, I hope y'all have a fantastic day, and I will see y'all in the next video.